Hello and welcome. I am Talkos from Maniacal Laughter, and today I'd like to read to you from Roger Zelazny's Creatures of Light and Darkness. If you're familiar at all with Zelazny, you're probably familiar with the Amber Chronicles or Lord of Light, and Creatures of Light and Darkness came out right in between the two and is often overlooked, but I think is one of the more poetic of his novels. It plays with a lot of the same themes that you see in both Amber and Lord of Light, and even Lord Demon as well. For example, a protagonist that has somehow lost his memory at some point. Um, Anyways, I think that this in particular plays with mood and theme that you'll see throughout his works. The feuding families of great cosmic immortals and all that. Anyways, I'm going to start with reading to you from a chapter titled The Waking of the Red Witch. The Witch of the Logia stirs in her sleep and cries out twice. Long has she slept now, and deeply. Her familiar rushes to comfort her, but bungles the job and causes her to awaken. She sits up then, among cushions in her cathedral high hall, and time, with Tarquin's ravishing stride from her divan, moves like a ghost. But she sees him, and freezes him in his tracklessness with a gesture and a word, and hears then her double cry, and looks backward with her eyes upon the dream dark scream sought thing she'd borne. Let there be 10 cannon crashes, and remove them from the air and the ear, preserving the 9 crowded silences that lie between. Let these be heartbeats then, and felt throughout the body mystical. In this still center, place a dry skin which has sloughed its snake. Now, let there be no moaning at the bar should a sunken ship return to port. Instead, withdraw from the dream dark thing, with its rain like rapid fire rosaries of guilt, cold and untold upon your belly. Think instead of broken horses and the curse of the Dutchman, and perhaps a line by the mad poet Brahmin, such as, "The bulb resurrects the daffodil within its season." If you have ever loved anything in your life, try to remember it. If you have ever betrayed anything, pretend for a moment that you have been forgiven. If you have ever feared anything, pretend for an instant that those days are gone and will never return. Buy the lie, and hold to it for as long as you can. Press your familiar, whatever its name, to your breast, and stroke it till it purrs. Trade life and death for oblivion, but light or dark will reach your bones or your flesh. Morning will come, and with it, remembrance. The Red Witch sleeps within her cathedral high hall between the past and the future. Her fleeting rapist of a dream disappears down dark alleyways, while time takes history around events. She smiles now as she sleeps, for Janus is again doing things by halves. Backward turned to glory, she dwells in his warm, green gaze. The next passage is from a chapter titled Death, Life, the Magician, and the Roses. Listen to the world. It is called bliss. It is not hard to hear at all. The sounds may be laughter, sighs, contented belches. They may be the clog of machinery or beating hearts. They may be the breathing of multitudes or their words. They may be footsteps, and the sound of a kiss, a slap, the cry of a baby. Music perhaps. The sound of typewriter keys through the black daddy night. Consciousness kissing paper only? Perhaps. Then, forget the sounds and the words and look at the world. First, colors. Name one. Red? There's a riverbank that color. Green stream hauled between, snagged on purple rocks. Yellow and gray and black is the city in the distance. Here, in the open field, both sides of the river are pavilions. Pick any color. They're all about. Over 1,000 pavilions, like balloons and teepees and stemless mushrooms, blazing in the midst of a blue field, strung like pennants, full of moving colors that are people. 3 lime-like bridges span the river. The river leads to a creamy sea which swells, but seldom breaks. From it, of the river, come barges and boats and other vessels which moor along the banks. More come out of the sky, settling anywhere upon the blue fabric of the field. Their passengers move along the pavilions. They are of all races and sorts. They eat, and they talk. They play. They are wearing the sounds, or they are making the sounds, and wearing the colors. Okay? The odors are sweet and growing things, and kissful come the breezes. When the breezes and these odors reach the fairground, they are altered subtly. There comes up the odor of sawdust, which is hardly unpleasant, and that of perspiration, which cannot be too unpleasant, if some of it is your own. Then there are smells of wood smoke, smells of food, and the clean aroma of alcohol. Smell the world, taste it, swallow it, hold it in your belly, burst with it. The other passage is also from this chapter. It's probably the most famous passage that came out of this book. It's one you'll see quoted throughout the web as the agnostic's prayer. Insofar as I may be heard by anything, which may or may not care what I say, I ask, if it matters, that you be forgiven for anything you may have done or failed to do which requires forgiveness. Conversely, if not forgiveness, but something else may be required to ensure any possible benefit for which you may be eligible after the destruction of your body, I ask that this, whatever it may be granted or withheld, as the case may be, in such a manner as to ensure your receiving said benefit. I ask this in my capacity as your elected intermediary between yourself and that which may not be yourself, but which may have an interest in the matter of you receiving as much as it is possible for you to receive this thing, and which may, in some way, be influenced by this ceremony. Amen. Those have been passages from Roger Zelazny's Creatures of Light and Darkness. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it motivates you to go out and pick up a copy of this book. You may have to look through some used bookstores and secondhand bookstores to actually find a good copy, but it's well worth it if you are a fan of Zelazny or even just interested in how he plays with words and themes of the bickering of immortals and petty gods and everything in between. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. This is Talkos from Maniacal Laughter. I'll talk at you another time.